I wanted to talk to you today about fascial conditioning. You know, it's kind of an important thing that not a lot of people are talking about. It's been around for years. People use it with yoga. It got a little bit more intense with Russian kettlebells, but it's something that is an integral part of a healthy workout routine that not a lot of people are talking about or, of course, not doing. So, what is fascial conditioning? First, what is fascia? Well, fascia is kind of still unknown. If you look it up anywhere, essentially it'll say it's a broad term for connective tissue in your body. So essentially what that means is that what your organs, your muscles, your joints, your ligaments, those are all fascia. So essentially everything that connects your body together is fascia. So what is fascial conditioning? Well, essentially fascial conditioning is training those pieces, those parts that connect your muscles together and your organs together and your joints and your ligaments together, and making sure that they stay stable and stay strong throughout the duration of your lifetime. Now, you might ask yourself, what is the difference between that and normal weight training? Well, the difference is that with normal weight training, you increase the intensity on the muscles and you decrease the intensity on your ligaments and tendons. That's why you see a lot of people that when they overtrain, they end up having some ligament or tendon damage rather than having a muscular damage. It's more rare, it's a little more rare for people to have muscular damage from weight training than tendon or ligament damage. So that means that they probably have been overtraining the muscle and not training the ligaments and tendons, or training the fascia, the connective tissue that helps keep those muscles moving. So, what can you do outside of lifting weights? What is fascial conditioning? Well, there's a lot of different theories, a lot of different methods at training your fascia. Another way you can do that is with simple mobility training. All right. So I want to show you a few exercises today that we can actually that can help you get into a little bit more of a conditioned fashion for your fascia. So first, what I want to talk about is a dirty dog. Now that's one of my favorite exercises. This is an exercise where you put your hands on the floor, put your knees on the floor, and you lift your knee up to the side. Okay? So what that does is actually helps you train your glutes, your gluteus medius, your gluteus minimus, those side glutes, your side butt is what I like to call it, and it helps you stabilize your hips. So a lot of people think about like doing hip thrusts with weights or squats. I've actually talked about squats in earlier episodes or earlier segments, and they're great exercises to help you strengthen your glutes and strengthen your legs. But again, we're just talking about strengthening the muscle. If we want to strengthen the fascia, then we're going to try to work on the range of motion. We're going to try to work on not necessarily putting a heavy load on the body, at least not at first, but we want to focus more on trying to achieve a high range of motion with control. All right, so that's my first favorite exercise. Another one of my favorites would be a hip press. All right, so notice that I'm talking a lot about lower body exercises. The reason why I'm talking about these lower body exercises is because I thoroughly believe that a lot of people sit too much. So what we need to do is we need to train those muscles that are your sit muscles. So a hip press. Now a hip press actually works your hamstring muscles, but it also works your gluteus minimus as well as your gluteus maximus. Now that's important, as again, these are muscles, but those connective tissues that help you push your hips up and push your hips forward are going to be very integral into your standing positions, okay? So if you don't really have good strength and you don't have good mobility in the connective tissue between your hamstrings and your glutes, well then, unfortunately, you're probably going to use your lower back a lot more than you want to when you're standing. All right, so my next favorite exercise is a simple knee lift. All right, so what you're going to do is essentially you're going to stand in one place, you're going to lift your knee up as high as you can, and you're going to put it back down. Very simple, yep. So the reason why I like this exercise is because the hip flexors, when you sit, they're always in a constant flexion position, all right? So they're tight little balls when you're sitting in any kind of chair or any kind of seated position. And we normally sit for 8 to 10 hours a day. So what you want to do is you want to strengthen those muscles so that when you're sitting, you're activating them and not just having them passively waste away. So you're driving your knee up as high as you can, then you're bringing it back down. Now your goal here is with this fascial conditioning is to try to reach your knee up higher with each repetition without moving your body around or contorting your body in a way that your knee is going to lift up, but you're going to be leaning back or leaning forward to reach that knee up. All right? Our final movement is a shoulder car. Okay? So essentially what you're going to do is you're going to put one hand on your chest, you're going to put the other arm out full extension down towards the floor or out in front of you. You're going to have your thumb facing forward or up, and you're going to reach as far back as you can. As you reach as far back as you can, you're going to rotate your hand once you get to that once you get to your furthest range of motion. So essentially you're going to have your thumb forward, thumb down, and you're going to have it forward. You're going to reach it up, and as you reach up as high as you can, you're going to reach your palm facing outward as you go back around your body, and you're going to bring your hand back down to your side. So that's a great way to strengthen your fascia in your shoulder. You don't necessarily have to do a bunch on a shoulder press. You don't have to do a bunch of push-ups. All you have to do is work that range of motion and train your shoulders to be more flexible and more mobile. So fascial conditioning, there's a lot of different ways. I just talked about a few of them. There's a lot of different ways you can do or you can use to improve your fascial conditioning. Any way you can try is great. The important things are that you want to make sure that you are not necessarily going to that full range of motion where you're having pain. So your full range of motion should still be a comfortable position because, again, we're training, we're conditioning your body. We're not trying to kill your body. So you want to focus on conditioning your fascia any way you can, anytime you can. This is one thing that you can do pretty much every day. I can highly encourage you to just try something simple like that shoulder car we did, or just reaching and touching your toes. That actually helps, again, that fascia, that's connective tissue between your hamstrings and your glutes, as well as in the back of your knees to help you with the flexion and extension of your knees. So yeah, anything you do is good. So exercise any way you can. Highly encourage you to do it. So I really appreciate you watching. If you want more tips like these you can check out the General Fitness Company page. You're probably already on it, so I appreciate you watching it. Check out more videos. I have them down below or up above or one of these directions. I'm still new to this. Anyways, I do appreciate you watching, and as always, keep good company.
That's awesome!